We all often have big dreams. We imagine ourselves achieving something extraordinary, changing our lives, impressing others, or making a mark on the world. We picture the perfect version of our future, full of success. But when it comes to taking the first step, something always holds us back. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll start when I have more time. Sometimes you explode with motivation. You work out for 2 hours in one day. You read for 3 hours in one go. But on the third day, you're back to the old you. And then the self-doubt begins. Maybe I have no self-discipline. Maybe I'm just useless. Maybe I'll never change. The deeper the pain gets, the more afraid you are to start again. But Taoist philosophy tells you this is not your fault. The real problem isn't that you're not hardworking. The real problem is this: your dream is way too big. Every time you think about what you want to do, you think, I have to do it perfectly. I have to succeed fast. I have to shock everyone and prove myself. You don't think, let me take one step today. And why do you think like that? Because since childhood, we've been surrounded by beliefs like, if you do something, you must be the best. Either you succeed or you're a failure. Your value depends on results people can see. Only big achievements make you worthy of respect. So your goals don't come from your heart. They come from comparison, showing off, proving yourself, and the fear of being looked down on. Now, let's see how Taoist philosophy solves this problem. Taoism never says you fail to start because you're lazy, weak, or undisciplined. Taoism sees the real truth. When a goal is too big, too heavy, too perfect, the human mind will instinctively avoid it. It's not weakness. It's your survival instinct protecting you from pressure that feels overwhelming. So Taoism gives us a sentence that has changed millions of lives. Great difficulties must be handled while they are still easy. Great achievements must be built from small things, which means big goals are not achieved through force or intensity, but by starting with the simplest, easiest step. Success isn't created by one dramatic burst of effort. It's created by small actions repeated until momentum appears. You don't need to succeed all at once. You just need to start gently. A little today, a little tomorrow. No perfection required, no pressure, no need to impress anyone. When starting becomes easy, momentum appears. When momentum appears, motivation grows by itself. When motivation grows, results come naturally. Soon you'll realize you didn't suddenly become disciplined. Life simply started to flow. This is the wisdom of Taoism. The solution is not to change who you are, but to change the way you relate to your goals. In Taoism, the real burden is not the goal itself. The real burden is the opinions of others. All those judgments, expectations, comparisons, doubts, and pressures, they stack on our shoulders one by one, until we can no longer move naturally. Originally, we just wanted to take one simple step. But because we're afraid of being laughed at, afraid of being underestimated, afraid of being talked about, we turn that one small step into, it has to be perfect. It has to be impressive. It has to prove my worth. And that's when our actions become distorted. We stop following our own heart and start acting under the eyes of others. We're no longer moving out of love. We're moving out of fear. That's why the harder we try, the more exhausted we become. The more we want success, the more painful it feels. Because we're running while carrying the entire world on our back, instead of simply walking with ourselves. Taoism reminds us, life isn't a performance for others. Life is meant to be lived for yourself. The louder the outside world becomes, the weaker your inner strength grows. To truly begin, you must free yourself from the weight of judgment. When you stop performing, stop comparing, stop proving yourself, you finally take the most important step, the step that is relaxed, pressure-free, and fearless of what others think. Taoism believes that most of life's suffering comes from resistance. Where does this resistance come from? Mainly from two sources. The external resistance is other people's judgments, societal expectations, comparisons, and pressure. The internal resistance is desires we can't satisfy, ambitions, and greed. Both of these can cause us to struggle with tasks and feel blocked, experience excessive stress and anxiety, lose our freedom and joy. Why let go of others' opinions? Other people's opinions are not your life. How others judge you has no direct connection to your true growth or happiness. Trying to please others distorts your true self. You might do things you don't actually enjoy just to earn their approval. Your actions, choices, and pace become restricted, so the harder you try, the more exhausted you feel. Taoism wisdom: live at your own pace, light and efficient. Following your own heart is far more comfortable than running after the eyes of others. Why let go of your own desires? Desire itself is not bad, but when uncontrolled, it becomes a burden. Always wanting more. Never satisfied, anxiety, disappointment, suffering. Taoism emphasizes simplifying desires. Keep only what is necessary. Let go of unnecessary wants. Result: inner peace, natural actions, higher efficiency. Zhuangzi's classic sentence: if a person is bound by desire, it's like a boat dragged by a strong wind, never truly free to steer. So Taoism came up with this super cool idea called Wu Wei. Wu Wei means go with the flow of how things naturally want to happen. Don't force anything. It's not being lazy. It's, I just don't do stuff that goes against nature or who I really am. A few super simple examples. When you plant a little tree, water it every day, give it fertilizer, and take good care of it. You can't force it to grow into a giant tree in one day. You do what you can, then let the tree grow by itself. That's Wu Wei. When you play on the slide already has a slope. You just sit down and whoosh, you're at the bottom. If you try to crawl up the slide and then slide down, you get super tired and might even fall. Sliding down the slope the normal way is Wu Wei. When you're doing your job, instead of forcing yourself to finish all the work in one big painful chunk and getting annoyed halfway, you break it into small pieces. Do a bit, take a short break. Do a bit more. You actually finish faster and feel way less tired. That's also Wu Wei, not fighting the natural rhythm. In other words, don't fight, don't force, just follow your own nature and the way things naturally go. Life is hard mostly because we worry too much about what others think and want too many things. Taoism says, don't force it. Don't try to impress anyone. Take small steps, follow your own pace, and let things happen naturally. When you do that, life feels easier, and you can be happy and do well at the same time.